Alright, so what we've done is we've selected a body blank. I've drawn a center line down the body blank for reference. Everything in guitar building, especially if you're using a top with a seam, everything's referenced off a center line. So I've selected a body blank out of the stash. We've trimmed up our veneer, and I've just taped it together so it's nice and tight. And now the next step is, because this is bigger than this is, and that veneer is going to be on top in the bag, if you put it in like that, it would just break off those edges and probably give you a really big mess. So what we're going to do is line everything up off that center, like such. Basically determining what you want to leave on the body, what you feel comfortable cutting. So you can slide it this way or that, indexed off the center line. And I've determined that I like everything going on down here, and this stuff can go. So get yourself lined up, take a pencil, mark yourself out, take your body blank back off, have a nice little set of shop shears from Fiskars here, and just trim off the excess. And it cuts basically like paper, you know. Even though it's plasticized and it's softened, still be careful with your veneer. And preserve as much of it as you can, because you never know if there's going to be another project where you might want to save some of these strips. Veneer strip. This is all arts and crafts stuff right here. Okay, so now we've got our excess trimmed off. We'll set that aside. And let's see, obviously we want the tape side up. And I've selected the glue side on this already. So it's going to look like that in the vacuum press. So the next step is actually, I'm going to tear that back just a skosh. I want to be able to see my ends and line them up, so this will go on just like that, just like that. Pretty darn good. And from here, next stage is to actually apply glue onto the substrate. In this case, it is a piece of swamp ash. I have a roller. I have cold pressed veneer adhesive, and basically this is the best stuff for the job that was recommended for burl veneers. You can use any number of things. Epoxy works really well. So the way the instructions work on this, it says have some pencil lines down and put this all the way down until you can just see the pencil lines through it. So this will work out great. I have a little veneer roller, paper towel for cleanup, and let's see. Smells like glue. You're not sniffing your glue. What are you doing? You'd have to sniff a lot of glue to be a professional woodworker. All right, so now we've got some glue on there in our glue roller. We're going to go ahead and carefully get it on there. So I was saying before, there's different glues for every job. Unibond 800 and Unibond 1 both work really well. They are similar to this in that they don't creep, meaning that the glue dries hard. Typical Titebond is what I use for everything. Titebond, Titebond 1, Titebond 2, and that doesn't dry hard. I'm almost certain it dries hard-ish, but it's more like a hard rubber. If I'm not mistaken, Titebond sells veneer glue as well. I just happen to use this because this is where I bought the other stuff, like the softener. We don't want too much glue on there. We still want to see our pencil lines. And one thing you kind of want is a nice long open time. I used Type Bond 1 on the OXC run back in 2013 and 2012. And that worked really well, and I have a bigger vacuum system that I can put 4 bodies in at once. And I realized that was pushing it for open time. It seemed like I was rushing to get them into the vacuum press. And you don't want to rush with glue. You just want to get it on safely and with plenty of open time. That's why sometimes epoxy is a good thing. If you get a slow setting epoxy, you can put the stuff on and almost take a nap and then get it in the press. Alright, so there's that side. We're going to tape it on too, so we know it's not going to be moving around. Kind of the same thing I would do with like an index pin on a top. You basically shoot it down with a wire brad to make sure it doesn't wiggle on you, or you can even screw it down. I've got my studs for my ends. They're totally perfect. I'm just going to tape these edges down so they don't move. And the bag will do the rest. Now we're using the veneers again because we're doing a carve through, and I want a nice clear line where we carve through on that bevel. Alright, so that's looking good. Next step is to get out this breeder mesh. This just helps evacuate the atmosphere around whatever you're working on. I wouldn't mind grabbing some of this stuff with you. Be careful working around your bag too. This is a really high quality poly bag. It's very expensive, which means it's also pretty tough. I'll set stuff down on it, but you know, to be safe, if you want to be the absolute safest, then you might want to consider not laying scissors down on it, something to that effect. So I'm just going to cut out a nice piece of this mesh. Alrighty. So the platen that's inside the bag right now has a honeycomb grid, not a honeycomb, sorry, it's the grid cut out. And what that allows is air to be evacuated from underneath, even though this is on top of the actual nozzle. Alright, so that's looking pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. Next thing we do is we just get that out of the way. Slide. Why don't you pull that right out of the way and I'll slide this right in the center.
No problem.
There we go. Thank you. Alright, so this vacuum bag has some buttons on it which make it nice. My last one did not, I don't think. So you've got a little piece of like PVC or ABS pipe and this little guy that pops on right over him. Basically, it closes the system. I'd love to look into the zipper ones. They didn't have them available when I got this guy. Okay, so this is going to pull down over. I'm just going to kind of hold it in place as it goes. I'm going to go to auto cycle. Pull vacuum down. No wrinkles. I don't see any bumps or wrinkles, but I think we're in good shape. Alright, that piece of veneer is now pressed right under that piece of swamp ash. Took a little bit of doing, but I'm pretty satisfied with how that's going to look. This is a real small job for this vacuum system, so. Alright, so we're going to leave it in there. I believe this stuff says you can vacuum it down for like an hour or so. I'll double check the specs on the glue. Some glue takes much longer, and some glue actually recommends you actually apply heat to it while it's in the vacuum, but this is a cold press and it's a fairly quick glue. So thanks for watching the process. We're going to go ahead and let this thing do its thing, and we'll pull her out in a couple hours and probably get some out on film too. Alright, welcome back. Still here working on this veneer, and it is now all ready to get out of the vacuum bag. It's a 60-minute max clamp time and a 3 to 5 hour cure time, so we're going to take it out. It's been just about an hour. I'm going to shut off the vacuum press. Pop off the closure here. Break vacuum seal. In theory. There we go. So we can pull that guy right out. Take off our mesh. Yeah, I think that worked pretty well. You can even peel up some of that glue, or peel up some of that tape. Overall, I think it looks pretty darn good. There's a little bit of a texture in there from the breather mesh. But overall, I think we're in good shape. Try to get some of this tape off so I can show the camera what we're looking like. It's always important to remember at stages like this. Yeah, this is a really rough stage. It's like when you first put a top onto a guitar. There's always sanding and whatnot that has to be done. Now in this case, we'll have to sand away some of the ripples in there once this fully dries and cures out. And there'll be some tinting to do where some of the voids were in the burl itself, because the glue is fairly light. I'm going to go ahead and get a better close-up of this. It's going to be pretty nice. Yeah, it's a beautiful piece of burl on there. And that's not something you're going to find too often in a 1/4 inch or thicker top. It's pretty much veneer only, I'm afraid. So anyways, yeah, so we're going to go ahead and let this guy dry, and tomorrow we'll get around to doing some prep sanding and probably even cut out a shape out of this guy. So there it is. That's how we veneer a top onto a guitar blank. Hey, welcome back to Oakland Axe Factory. This is Tom, and we're about to cut out this OXC. I don't know how well you can see that in there, but so yeah, let's go ahead and cut her out and see what happens. is a myrtle wood veneer. So next step after this is spindle sanding. So should be pretty sweet.